Home builders are about to get screwed. This is because mortgage rates have been increasing greatly, and also the US Census Bureau just announced this morning that the sale of new houses actually declined on a year-over-year basis and also compared to 1 month ago. So right now, mortgage rates have been increasing greatly, and this is causing home buyers to put their plans on buying a brand new house on pause. And frankly, I don't blame them at all. I would not put a deposit down on a dirt lot right now in which the house is not going to be built until 6 to 12 months from now, because in my opinion, this is a very, very big risk. This is because when you buy a dirt lot in which the house is going to be constructed for months down the road, you can't lock in your mortgage rate until your house is much closer to being completed. So in general, you can lock in your mortgage rate once the house has been built. And right now, it's taking builders approximately 6 to 12 months to build houses right now. So in other words, people putting deposits down on a dirt lot and the house is not going to be completed for months down the road are not going to know what their final housing payment is going to be. This is a big risk in my opinion because mortgage rates have been increasing greatly. So I'm going to be sharing all the data here with you guys, and also the report from the US Census Bureau to give you my personal opinion about the data that we have right now. So with that said, if you get any value out of today's video, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Also consider subscribing as well if you haven't done so. And welcome to all my new subscribers. We have about 5,000 new subscribers in the past 30 days. I cannot thank you guys enough for watching my videos. I truly appreciate it. I really enjoy making these videos for you guys. In any case, the US Census Bureau released the latest data for March as of this morning, which is the 26th of April. So the National Association of Home Builders said new home sales fall on higher rates. New single-family home sales declined in March as mortgage rates jumped to their highest levels since the start of this pandemic. Really, mortgage rates haven't been this high since approximately 2010. So right now, mortgage rates are approximately 5.5%. In any case, per Freddie Mac, the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage was 3.89% at the end of February and had climbed to 4.67% by the end of March. So basically, mortgage rates have increased approximately or almost 1% in about 1 month. So let me give you some brief background about new home sales. The US Census Bureau defines a new home sale as when the builder accepts a deposit from the home buyer, and also the home buyer signs a sales agreement. So in other words, they give the builder a deposit, they sign a sales agreement, and then they build a house. And that's for people who are putting a deposit down on dirt lots. So therefore, the sale is not finalized until the house has been completed. Again, that's approximately 6 to 12 months. And therefore, this is really acting like a leading indicator because these are really pending home sales, really, because they're defining that as when a sales contract is signed, which is the same thing when a sales contract is signed for existing home sale. In any case, because mortgage rates have been increasing greatly, approximately 1% in that time frame in March. Again, this is when a home buyer signs a contract. They sign contracts in March, and that's defined as a sale. Because mortgage rates have increased greatly, that's causing a lot of home buyers to put their plans on hold to buy brand new houses if the house is not going to be constructed for months down the road. So I want to share two general summaries regarding this new report from the US Census Bureau. And let's first talk about Zillow, and then I'm going to be going over the actual report from the US Census Bureau and give you my honest opinion, the key takeaways that I'm personally seeing right now. So here's Zillow. They actually just posted this today. Here's what they said. Despite rising mortgage rates and roadblocks for new construction, builders are continuing to sell houses at a rate higher than those seen in the decade prior to this pandemic. So they're saying that even though we're seeing these roadblocks with higher rates and also the roadblocks or headwinds that builders are facing, we're starting to see a higher rate of home sales, at least compared to the prior decade. However, what they failed to mention there is that the number of new home sales in the US has declined for 3 straight months. So the number of home sales started to decrease in January, decreased again in February, and then fell off big time in March. So overall, the past 3 months, sales have been on a declining trend. Of course, when you look at the past 10 years, of course, we're at still elevated levels. I mean, look at March 2022, 763,000. That's, by the way, that's the seasonally adjusted annual rate. When you compare that to March 2020, of course, we had far fewer houses because we had stay-at-home orders. But basically, March 2019, have a look at this. March 2019, we had 721,000 new home sales on a seasonally adjusted rate. Now we're at 763,000. So we're approaching pre-COVID levels for new home sales. And we'll have to see if this continues to decrease. And if I were to take a wild guess, I would anticipate this to decrease further because mortgage rates have been increasing greatly. And of course, they're expected to increase further this year as well. In any case, let's go back to what Zillow had to say here. With near record low inventory of existing houses this spring, prospective buyers are leaving no stone unturned and looking at all corners of the market for the best available options. Again, in my personal opinion, it's a very big risk if you're putting a deposit down on a dirt lot because you can't lock in your mortgage rate until months down the road. Granted, you can pay a premium in order to lock in your mortgage rate for a longer period of time, but you have to pay a fee for that. In any case, in my opinion, again, a very risky endeavor if you're putting a deposit down on a dirt lot and your house is not going to be built for months down the road. I give you my warning. When it comes to new permits and housing starts, builders remain confident. I would beg to differ because when you actually look at the data itself for permits pulled and housing starts for single family houses, those have actually decreased on a month-to-month basis and also have decreased compared to 1 year ago. In stark contrast though, permits pulled and housing starts for multifamily units of apartment buildings to rent has been increasing. So I don't know what this person is talking about. When it comes to new permits and housing starts, builders remain confident, which is likely due to current market conditions. Yes, they are confident regarding the construction of apartment buildings to rent and not single family houses. When you actually look at the data itself, you can see that here. And I shared that in my previous videos here. In any case, they say after a decade of underbuilding for a wave of potential first-time homebuyers, there's plenty of demand waiting in the wings, a compelling reason for builders to keep up the pace. Again, there's compelling reasons for builders to build apartment buildings to rent and not single family houses because single family houses is tied more directly to mortgage rates, which home buyers purchase. Obviously, the construction of apartment buildings is not tied as directly to mortgage rates. And that's why builders are more bullish regarding the rental market and not single family houses. Okay, so that was Zillow's summary regarding the latest stats we have for new home sales as of March 2022. That was just released this morning. So comment below what you guys think about that. So let me share a summary briefly from the National Association of Homebuilders and see what they had to say. And you'll see how it differs from what Zillow had to say. So according to Jerry Conter, who's the chairman of the National Association of Homebuilders and a home builder and developer in Savannah, Georgia, here's what he had to say. Growing affordability challenges are slowing new home sales and taking a toll on the housing market. I talk about this all the time because we have a lack of housing affordability as home prices have not decreased, yet mortgage rates have been increasing greatly. In any case, he goes on to say the following. Mortgage rates jumped nearly 1 percentage point between the end of February and March, and builders continue to face escalating construction and development costs, which are putting upward pressure on new home prices. And by the way, new home prices reach an all-time record high. And so I'm going to be sharing the stats with you regarding that here in just a little bit. Another stat I'm going to be sharing with you guys as well is that we're still seeing a lack of home builders buying more affordable houses. So only 14% of new home sales in March were priced below $300,000. 1 year ago, it was 34%. So basically the share of houses being sold of less than $300,000 are about half of what it was compared to 1 year ago. And of course, this is a big, big problem. And again, a friendly reminder again, a new home sale occurs when a sales contract is signed or a deposit is accepted from a home buyer. And by the way, the home that the home buyer is purchasing can be in any stage of construction. So it can be at not yet started, which is basically a dirt lot, under construction, or it has been completed already. As you guys can probably tell if you follow the channel, I'm really fired up regarding this new report from the US Census Bureau here because I'm personally seeing a lot of issues and a lot of cracks in the new home industry right now. So I want to be absolutely transparent with you guys. So hope you guys are getting some value out of today's video. So with that said, let's go ahead and share the actual report from the US Census Bureau that was actually just released today at the time of this video, which is the 26th of April. So again, these are monthly new residential sales for March 2022. And by the way, this report here for new residential sales is only for new single family houses in the US. So it excludes multifamily properties. Again, a sale is defined as a deposit taken or sales agreement signed. So here's the latest stats we have for you guys. So here are new single-family houses sold and for sale. So in other words, the number of houses that have sold and also housing inventory. So again, these are in thousands of units, and they're also seasonally adjusted numbers as well. So let's first talk about the number of home sales in the US for the latest month we have, which is March. Again, these are seasonally adjusted and are in thousands of units. So for March 2022, we had 763,000 new single-family houses that actually sold. Again, this is when a sales agreement is signed, not when the sale has actually been finalized yet. So right now, that's down 8.6% compared to 1 month ago, and also down 12.6% compared to 1 year ago. So we're down on a month-to-month basis and also compared to 1 year ago. And again, this is probably because mortgage rates have been increasing greatly, and also home prices for new homes has been increasing greatly as well. I'm gonna be sharing some stats with you guys here in just a little bit here. Any case, compared to 1 year ago, we're down 12%. But have a look at this. They also break it down by region. So they have the Northeast, the Midwest, the South, and the West. So look at the differences here. In the South, new home sales decreased almost 25% compared to 1 year ago, but in the West, an increase of 21%. So basically a reversal when we look at the South compared to the West. And again, the number of new home sales have been decreasing for 3 straight months now at 763,000. Also compared to 10 years ago, we're at still elevated levels compared to pre-COVID, but this trajectory here is basically going straight down. We'll have to see if this trend continues because we could be approaching the number of home sales pre-COVID if this trend continues. And by my guess, it's going to be kind of going downwards here in the near future as well. We'll have to see. Okay, changing gears slightly, let's talk about housing inventory for brand new houses in the US right now. So basically, these are the number of houses for sale in the US. So the seasonally adjusted rate for March 2022 is 407,000 houses for sale as of the end of March. Compare that to March 2021, we had 305,000. So 100,000 more houses available for sale compared to 1 year ago. That's a 33.4% increase in 1 single year. Also, this is the biggest number we've had in at least the last 12 months, and I suspect in the last couple of years as well. So a big increase in the number of houses for sale, and I'm guessing there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna be backing out about buying houses right now if they've been in contract for a couple of months and they were expecting mortgage rates to be in the range of 3.5%. Now they're at 5.5%. I think there's gonna be a lot of lenders calling their home buyers saying, hey, you're no longer qualified to buy the house because mortgage rates have been increasing greatly. Because when you initially put a deposit down, the lender is using estimated mortgage rates in order to qualify the home buyer. So if a home buyer is placing a deposit down in anticipation that mortgage rates are going to be 3.5%, and now rates are at 5.5%, then some lenders may disqualify those buyers from buying the brand new house because mortgage rates have been increasing greatly and they no longer qualify to buy the house. So we'll have to see how this transpires over the next couple of months here. In any case, a big increase in the number of new houses for sale compared to 1 year ago. The month supply has also been increasing as well. We're at 6.4 months, a 52.4% increase, a big increase compared to 1 year ago when the month supply was 4.2%. So I don't put a whole lot of weight into this number here though, because this would imply a balanced real estate market in the new home industry. However, we're not seeing that though, because a lot of home builders are basically getting permits approved, but they're opting not to start construction. So, and they're technically not really for sale, even though the US Census Bureau counts those as technically for sale. And that's why this number is so elevated. But this is interesting to see how this number has been increasing, and I'll definitely keep you posted. What I personally follow though is the month supply of completed houses. I'm gonna be sharing some stats with you guys here in just a little bit regarding that. But first, let's talk about average home prices for new home sales in the US. So right now, the median sold price for March 2022 reached all-time record high of $436,700. That's actually a 21.4% increase compared to 1 year ago. Because 1 year ago, the average home price there was basically $360,000. Now we're at $436,000. Here's something else I wanted to bring to your attention though, because as I mentioned earlier in the video here, we have a lack of new home sales for less than 300,000. So builders are not constructing more affordable houses right now. They're more inclined to sell and build more expensive houses. And we can actually see that when looking at the stats here itself. So here are the number of houses sold by price range. And here's the percent distribution here. So the percent distribution is the percent of home sales by price range. So for the houses that sold in the range of 150 to basically 200,000 for a brand new home, the annual rate in 2020 was 6%. So in 2020, 6% of all home sales were in the range of $150 to $200,000. But fast forward now to March 2022, that represented only 1% of all sales. So we basically went from 6% down to 1% because builders are not constructing more affordable houses. Also, we see this in the range of 200,000 to 300,000. 2020, it was 31% of all home sales, but fast forward to now, that represents 13%. So basically we had more than twice as many home sales in the range of 200,000 to 300,000 now compared to 2020. In stark contrast though, look at the upper range here. So for sales in the range of 500,000 to basically 749,000, that represented 13% of all sales in 2020. Now it's 27%. In addition, houses that sold over 750 only represented 5% back in 2020, and now it's more than double that at 11%. Here's something I also found to be very interesting as well. So here are the number of new houses sold and also for sale by stage of construction. So we're looking at the number of home sales by construction period and also the total number of houses for sale by construction period as well. So have a look at this. Again, these are in thousands of units, and these are also seasonally adjusted as well. So let's first talk about new home sales by construction phase. So again, the total number of single family houses that sold in March was 763,000. Look at this though. So the total number of home sales for the stage when they're not yet started construction. This is basically when a home buyer is putting a deposit down on a dirt lot. The house has not even started construction yet. Look at the big increase in March. 255,000 at the seasonally adjusted rate compared to 202,000 in February of 2022. So a big increase. In my personal opinion, this is a big risk. And it's really crazy to see how big this increase is, given the fact that mortgage rates have been increasing greatly. And we're seeing a lot of volatility there as well. And as I stated earlier, you can't lock in your mortgage rate until the house is much closer to being completed, unless you want to pay a hefty premium to lock in your rate months in advance. Okay, so that was the number of home sales by construction period. You can screenshot this if you like here, but let's have a look at housing inventory by also the construction phase as well. So again, we have 407,000 houses, new houses that are technically for sale, but look at the big increase in the number of houses that are for sale that have not yet started construction yet. So 77,000 compared to 1 year ago. Now it's 105,000. This is probably due to the fact that, like I said earlier, a lot of home builders opting not to start construction because of all these headwinds that builders are facing, and also because home buyers are facing as well, right? They're seeing that mortgage rates are increasing greatly, and they're forecasting probably that we're going to see fewer and fewer single-family houses because of high mortgage rates here. Also, for the total number of houses under construction, there's also a big increase as well. So 195,000 compared to 1 year ago, and now it's 267,000 houses that are for sale that are under construction right now. What I'm personally tracking though and reporting to you guys is the total number of houses that are for sale that are completed. So right now we only have 35,000 houses that are completed that builders want to sell, but they're not selling for whatever reason. So if this number increases greatly, that would be a clear indication to me that home buying demand is decreasing, because if builders are building houses and they're finishing them, but they're not able to sell them, that'd be a clear sign to me that home buying demand is decreasing, at least for new home sales. So in regards to the number of houses completed that are still for sale, again, that's 35,000 in March 2022. Here's the median months for sale for those completed houses. So this asterisk here of 2, it means the median number of months for sale since completion. So basically the housing supply for brand new houses that have been completed that are for sale. So that is the median months right now is 3 months. So not much change so far this year, but a slight increase in March of this year. We'll have to see if this trend continues though, because if this number increases greatly, then that would be a clear sign again that home buying demand is decreasing for new home sales. A lot of information in today's video, so comment below with your biggest takeaways from today's video. In my personal opinion, the biggest takeaway for me is the fact that we have a big decrease in the number of new home sales, a decrease of 8.6% compared to 1 month ago, and a big decrease compared to 1 year ago. And we're starting to see the supply of new homes increase greatly, a gain of 33.4% compared to 1 month ago. So hope you got a lot of value out of today's video. If you did, please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Also consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Hope you have an awesome day. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.